Okay, Blesswin.
Okay, sir. Shall we start, sir?
You have disabled the screen sharing now, right? Yes, yes, yes. You can enable screen sharing
Um,
from my laptop. Yeah. Uh,
is there any problem, sir? Yeah.
no, no, no. Screen sharing has to be enabled by you, Blesswin.
Oh, just a minute, sir.
Yeah. Go to the participant and enable screen sharing. Post disable the participant screen sharing.
Whether it's okay now, sir?
Highlight. Yes, yes, yes. I think you will see. You will now see.
Okay, sir.
Can we have a slight transition, Blesswin, or should we remove that?
No problem, sir. No problem.
Okay, okay,
We shall have it, sir. No problem.
okay, fine.
Shall it start now, sir?
Yes, yes, yes. Fine.
So, hello, sir. Hello, participants. Good morning, all. Thanks for joining this webinar on bounce back strategies for effective stress and time management. The feedback form link for certificates will be given in the chat box at the end of this webinar. Now, let me introduce today's speaker. He's none other than Dr. S.Jerald Sagaya, who is assistant professor in the Department of English, St. Joseph's College, Trichy, Tamil Nadu. And he's a well-known NetSet coach who trained many successful NetSet candidates throughout the stage. Also, he's very friendly towards the learners and solves their problems and gives some kind of psychological counseling to them. And today it's my pleasure to welcome him to give and share his thoughts in this webinar. Also, I welcome all the participants. Uh, Kindly listen the speech given by the speaker and give your valuable comments in the chat box as well as in the comment box. Now, let me hand over the session to Dr. Jerald. Sir, shall we start, sir?
Yes,
Shall we
Blesswin,
start?
thank you
Okay.
first of all, thank you very much for organizing this webinar and for giving a platform for academicians like me to meet people around the globe.
Thank you.
And welcome dear participants for this webinar. The webinar is titled Bounce Back, Strategies for Effective Stress and Time Management. As we all know, we are living during a crisis situation. This COVID-19 is troubling us, and almost all of us are stress-filled. And none of us can say that I am free from stress. Um, this stress is a troublesome factor for all, not only for students but also for academicians and people in all ways of life. Now, what is bounce back? It is nothing but the spring effect. This life is a journey, and this life is not just a bed of roses. In this life, we have to face a lot of challenges. Whenever we face setbacks, we are almost depressed. We have negative feelings, and we come to a standstill. But life is not all about that. We need to bounce back like a ball which hits the board and returns back, we should also come out of this stressful situation and then move forward. This is what life is all about. When we face with difficulties, when we face challenges, we are not supposed to retract. We need to take a forward step, and for which we need to face stress, and we need to manage our time. Time and tide wait for no man. If we could manage our time and if we could plan our day-to-day activity, then life is going to be a very pleasurable journey. Now coming to the academic life that we are leading. As academicians, we find it very difficult to bridge the gap between academic life and personal life. And managing academic challenges is a very big task. At the same time, managing family commitments is also. And many academicians fail miserably. Coming to students find it very difficult to face the challenges of the academics. And they say every now and then, I'm very much stressed. Even a very small child says, I'm very much stressed. And what is the main problem? Why do we face stress? Because we do not organize ourselves. Time management, that is a famous quote regarding time management. Suppose, why should we organize time? Before organizing time, you cannot organize time because time is a continuum. You can only organize your event. And organizing event is nothing but self-organization. You need to organize yourself. I'll be coming to that a little later. Now, getting straight into stress. What is stress? I would ask you to self undergo a self-examination. Let's ask ourselves a few questions before we begin. First question is, are you stressed? If you say yes, I hope none of you say no, I am not stressed. Then if you say that you're not stressed, then you should be God. We are not all gods. We are just human beings, flesh and blood. We respond to certain changes. And our body and our mind, our psyche undergoes a lot of changes. So we are all stressed. Yes. And the second question is, why were you under stress? What are the various reasons for undergoing stress? Is stress external or it comes from within? Is it attitudinal? Number three, what makes you stress? What are the various factors? What are the stressful conditions or situations? Or who is that person who makes you stress? Or the fourth question is, who causes stress to you? If you ask small kids, they'll say, parents are the ones. If you ask parents, they will say, our kids are the ones who create a lot of stress. And for an employee, it is the employer and the demands of the job which causes stress for them. And the deadlines, which is set by the organization, which causes a lot of stress. If you ask the housewife, the housewife will say, okay, I have to complete all the household chores, and that causes a lot of stress. And the question is, what were your feelings when you are stressed? Suppose you have a stressful situation, how do you react? Are you angry? Or do you become reserved? Do you become very silent? Do you become very dull? Do you really exhibit the normal enthusiasm under a stressful situation? This is the question before us. Question number six, what were your sufferings under stress? What were the sufferings? When I say sufferings, is it physical? Some people, when they are stressful, they go and complain to the doctor that they don't get sleep. They suffer from insomnia. Some people go to a dermatologist and say, sir, I have patches here and there in my body. And when the doctor keeps on examining that particular patient, doctor comes and says, there is nothing problem with your skin. It is because of stress. Stress can cause a lot of problems. It can cause mental problem. It can cause physical problem. It can also cause psychological problem. There are many cases of suicide because of stress, and we need to tackle this stress meticulously. The last question is, how did you react to stress situation? Did you tackle it with wisdom? That's the question. Next. What actually stress is? Stress in a medical or biological context is a physical, mental, or emotional factor. Sorry, let me go back. Is a physical, but a stress is a medical, biological, in a biological context. Stress is physical, mental, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension. Stress is body's reaction to any change, and it requires a kind of adjustment or a response. Response. And don't think that stress is something extraordinary. No, our body has an inbuilt mechanism to adapt to new situations. And see, this COVID-19 has created a lot of problem for us. It has led us to confinement, and our body has learned to adjust to this particular stressful situation. We wear masks, and wearing masks is suffocating, but our body has learned to adjust to situations. And what we need to learn is stress is the normal part of human life. We think that it is something extraordinary, and we make a fuss over it. We are not supposed to make a fuss over stress because it is normal. It is like the feeling of hunger that our body has. When we feel hungry, we need to eat. And when we feel stress, we need to tackle it meticulously. Now, what do we do when we get stressed? Biologically, when we encounter stress, our body is stimulated to produce stress hormones that trigger a flight or fight response. Either we fly, we are not taking proper care for stress. Suppose we are not able to handle stress, this stress gets prolonged and it becomes distress. And most of the time, these people exhibit the extreme physical imbalance, emotional imbalance, and psychological imbalance. So we need to control ourselves before moving to distress situations. Situations will be distress. Means continuous. See, this pandemic is a prolonged stress, but how wisely do we handle the situation? How wisely do we plan our life during this crisisful situation? That is the task before us. Now, coming to the worst part of stress. Stress is something which you can handle because it is integral part of your lifestyle. But there are certain behaviors and certain intakes which complicate. Stress is a very troublesome physical, mental, and psychological fixation, which I already told you. But there are things from outside which, combined with stress, becomes your life very, very miserable. When you are facing stress, people indulge either in taking alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, looking for some kind of relaxation. Does alcohol, intake of alcohol, or intake of drug, or intake of tobacco offer lasting relaxation? That is the question before us. Alcohol, drug, and tobacco spoil your health, and this cannot be a stress bust. And there are people who take for alternative ways of coming out of stress. They indulge either in gambling, or they indulge in lovemaking, or they indulge in endless shopping. Today, we have the whole world in our palm, in the form of smartphone, and people are addicted to online shopping. They spend hours together in shopping. Apart from their work schedule, they want to have some relaxation immediately, even without talking to a neighbor or to a loved one. People go and browse. They watch videos online and they while away their time. And this activity causes much more stress. And there is the worst case, people indulge in taking a lot of food. They become gluttons. Taking a lot of food will have adverse effect on the body, and in turn, it also causes a lot of psychological problem and spiritual problems too. Now coming to effective stress management strategy. There are four strategies which can help us to effectively manage. The first one is avoid. What are the things that we need to avoid? Okay? It is we need to avoid unnecessary contact, which may bring stressful situations in life. Then avoid environments which will cause stress. Suppose you feel that the company of a person causes you a lot of stress, which does not give you peace of mind and which creates lots of physical problems. Please avoid situation. The second most important thing is you need to take a lot of rest. Doctors advise uh, having a sound sleep of 6 to 8 hours. We are all workaholics, and we whatever professions we take up, we should keep in mind that we need to rest at least for 6 to 8 hours. A sound sleep will make us very healthy and will help us face life with courage. Then we need to indulge in a lot of relaxation techniques like meditation and yoga. You know, yoga is the best medicine for relaxing your mind, all your mental worry. And meditation, and when you stay focused, it will make you focused in life. And then you should have a proper balanced work schedule, which means you need to learn how to spend quality time for work and quality time with your loved ones. Most of the academicians fail in this particular category. They work hours together. They work in the office, they come back home and they work, but they don't have much time to relax with their kids. Spending time with a loved one, be a kid, playing, spending time with kids at home can be a very good stress buster. Blesswin, hello, Bless,
Sir. Yeah.
can we continue?
Oh, yes,
Hello,
just a minute, sir. Just a minute.
Blesswin,
Sir. Yeah,
yes,
you can
Blesswin,
proceed now, sir. Yeah.
should I say a word that there is some or nothing?
No problem, sir. You can proceed now, sir. Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry for the clash disturbance. It's a
no issue,
technical
no
fault,
issue.
sir. Okay.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay, dear participants, we are with the 4A strategy for effective stress management. The first one is avoid. The second one is alter. The third one is adapt. And the fourth one is accept. Now, what should we do to effectively manage stress? We first are discussing that we need to avoid unnecessary people contacts. Number two, we need to shun unnecessary environment which will cause stress. There are necessary environments and there are unnecessary environments. The workspace stress cannot be avoided, but suppose you wantonly enter into an environment which may cause stress, that situation has to be avoided. Then I was speaking about the importance of sleep in our day-to-day life. all biological, all physiological, all psychological problems can be brought down if we have 6 to 8 hours of sound sleep. This is the medical finding. Then, the importance of practicing meditation and yoga in our personal lives can bring down stress. Then, we need to balance our personal life schedule and our professional life schedule. We need to spend quality time with our loved ones. All work and no play make Jack a dull boy. This is true of every human being. We need to exercise a lot in order to keep our body and our mind healthy. We need to have breaks amidst our work. This is what the first strategy is all about. The second thing is, when there is a stressful situation, we need to change that situation for good. How can we do it? Suppose there is your boss who is finding fault with you for no reason. You need to open up. You need to assert the positives that you have and tell him that what you do is right. Sometimes, most of the time, we bottle up our emotions, and all bottled emotions burst on a particular day. Suppose we don't open up, our lungs, our heart bursts, and there is a lot of blockage, and there is a lot of suffocating feelings. And the second thing is, in workplace, we must be willing to compromise with the task that is given to us. Sometimes when we feel that we cannot do it alone, we need to get the help of somebody. We need to recognize the talents of our mates. Then third one is, create a balanced schedule. This is getting social support. This is what I was speaking about. You need to delegate your responsibility. Suppose you have been given a task of handling a particular paper. I'm a professor of English, and literary criticism, particularly concepts, theories like deconstruction, may be mind-boggling. Suppose I feel that I could not explain it well, I should not spend much time in that. I have to learn all those things for my personal well-being. Suppose there is little time for me to complete the portion, I can get the help of my friend to complete the portion. That can be a very great help. In that way, I can come out of that stressful situation. Later, when time permits, I can learn that particular theory by myself. And then developing healthy hobby. Okay? Can bring down your stress level. The third one is adapt. Adapt means you need to acclimatize yourself with certain situations. Alter is changing, adapt is getting used to. Suppose you are traveling to your workplace and you are struck amidst traffic jam. What do what do we do? We scratch our heads, we keep honking, we look out and we shout at persons who are standing in front of us. But do we make it as a time to think of a beautiful, writing a beautiful article on the need for regulating traffic? That can be a beautiful way of reframing your problem. The second thing is, develop a big picture approach. What is developing a big picture approach? Don't think in terms of small image. You are a small image, and the whole world is a big image. When you are stranded in a traffic jam, it is not you alone who is facing the problem. It is almost all the people who are traveling to their work spot are facing the similar problem, and we need to think big how better we are in the position. Then second one is, we all are perfectionists in our professional life. We need to be flexible with our standards. Sometimes we need to come down a bit with our expectation. Don't have too much expectation, and too much expectation on yourself will bring down your performance. have a standard which can be accomplished. Okay. Then, whenever you find situations which are very troublesome, which you cannot adapt to, count the blessings that you have. Look into the positives that you have. What are the positives that you have? Yes, I'm a very good orator. Yes, I am a good poet. Yes, I am good in organizing program. Don't worry if you're not an artist. Don't worry if you are not a leader. Everyone is a master in a particular trade. Know where your blessings are. This can help you to come out of a stressful situation. Your colleague will be an expert in doing certain aspects, but you may not be. Don't always look up, look sometime. You have to learn to look down. There are a lot of people who cannot do what you do. So develop a look down approach and try to climb up the ladder of life. And last and but the most important aspect in stress management is learning self acceptance. Most of the time, we do not learn to accept ourselves and we don't learn to accept others. This is a very major problem in the emotional domain. We don't forgive ourselves for the faults that we committed in the past. Has past has brought us to the present, but you cannot alter your past. You can only forgive all those wrongdoings which you did in the past. Okay? Leave alone your guilt, and if there are people who have done you wrong, please forgive them. And this can be a very good strategy to come out of stress. This is a very important strategy in interpersonal development. In interpersonal communication, you need to learn to forgive people for misgiving. And then always look from top angle. Look at people who are down below and don't always look at high because the standard may be very high. Okay? You need to move one step at a time. That will be very practical. Be practical. Don't be highly theoretical. Don't be in the world of fantasy. And when you feel stressed, try to communicate with people. Try to socialize. Spend little time for a party. I'm not speaking about a liquor party. I'm only speaking about a get together. Get together with loved ones. Go meet your senior in your class. Meet your friends. Meet your childhood friends. We have a gathering of your schoolmates, your own workmates, your own loved ones. This will help you manage stress. Then eating healthy food will also help you to manage stress. And if need arises, you need to consult a good psychologist or a counselor. You should have a very good friend who can give you good counsel. A good friend is one who would give you good counsel, not the one who will overlook your faults. A good friend is one who will point out where you are lagging and will push you forward. So try to find a good friend to whom you can entrust all your inner feelings. And now we go forward to the next part. Before that, let me say stress is not very negative. It is very positive because it motivates us to move forward. It tells us where we lack, and it tells, yes, come on, you need to gear up. Now, situation which is very troublesome, it helps us avoid that particular situation. It makes you to be alert all the time. It activates your mind to work faster. It brings out the creative you in you, and it strengthens your personality. It brings out a new aspect which others have not seen in you in the past. So stress is positive. Let's move in an optimistic tone. And to avoid stress, what is very important is you have to manage your time. Time is a continuum. That is what I was speaking about. Most of the time, when we do run out of time, it is because we don't meticulously plan the events of the day or the week or the month or the year. Now, let's examine ourselves as to what consumes our time, or who consumes your time? What activity consumes much of your time? Is it browsing the mobile phone that consumes much of your time? Because I see many youngsters often with a mobile phone playing PUBG games. Does that game consume your time? Or browsing messages in social network, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, does that consume much of your time? Or are you using the time to get into some forums and get intellectual input? That is different. The third one is, do you schedule your time properly? If so, how many hours do you spend at work? Next one is, how many hours do you invest in professional enrichment activities? How many hours do you invest in personal enrichment, your own personal enrichment activity? How much time do you relax every day? And how do you spend your leisure time? Do you spend quality time with your loved ones? These are the questions which we need to ask ourselves before we proceed. Okay, there is a famous quote by Delos. Time is what we want most, but what we use to what. We do not know how to use time. Most of it. We waste the time which is before us. And ordinary people think merely of spending time. Great people think of using it. They know how to use time. Every minute is of value. And as time is as value as money. And when you meticulously plan your time, money will come into your pocket. Now, what is time management? The very concept of time management is a misnomer. It is wrongly understood. Time cannot be managed, only the events can be managed. You cannot manage time because a day you have only 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, or 86,400 seconds every day. You cannot even add 1 second to a day. Only thing is you can use this time for your own happy and healthy life. What should we do to lead such a happy life? We should manage our time. Okay, what are the effects of time management? A well managed time, excuse me, sorry for interruption. People who manage their time well find that their productivity is enhanced. They feel that their energy is stored for future. When you manage time, it makes you feel better and it makes you sociable because you have already scheduled your work and your leisure. So you become more sociable. You don't all the time sit glued to, before your computer or with your files. You spend time with your loved ones. You move out of your residence. You get to know your neighbors, and you become popular among people. And when you manage time, it helps you to accomplish much more tasks, and it reduces stress. So a main contributor for stress is ill-managed time. If we manage time, we can reduce all our stress. And if you manage your time, it gives you a lot of freedom to examine or to find out the creative side which is hidden inside you. Now, what are the strategies to manage time effectively? Number one, you have to know how you spend your time, which means what is your focus? Where lies your focus? What are your priorities? What am I going to do now, this moment, today? Do you have a daily planner schedule? Which means you may have a lot of things to do, but what is the first thing that you need to take? Suppose, take for example, today I had 4 or 5 things to do. But the first thing is to prepare myself for this webinar. This is my priority. And the second thing, after completing this, I need to sit and revise the research paper that I have written. And after finishing that, I have a few projects to correct, and I have little time to finish that project correction. So, do I prioritize that? Do I give importance to the most important task first? And you need to plan before you to do, for which you can seek the help of a whiteboard. Okay? As academicians or as students, we can have a small whiteboard with marker, and every day we can have a daily schedule, or we can have a weekly schedule or monthly schedule, and see to that we accomplish the task. And for daily tasking, we can get the help of personal digital assistant. Google, if you have a Google account, I think a Gmail account, you have a Google Calendar, and you have Google Assistant itself, okay, which will help you to plan your task daily. Then, if you have a very big project, break it into small projects, and you fix your own deadline and try to accomplish that deadline. And you stick to your deadline, and when you complete the deadline, you try to reward yourself. This will help you to manage time. Then, when you have very many work to do, try to get the help from somebody. And the worst habit of all is procrastination. This is the universal problem. Every day we keep on procrastinating. Why do we procrastinate? Because we think we have a lot of time to do. But if you think that today is the day which I have in my hand, we will not procrastinate. So at the end of the day, you need to spend a little time to review the day's event. So have a task, have to do tasks before you. And at the end of the day, try to tick mark and try to maintain a journal of your own progress. And you can avoid procrastinating. And then when you are at work, avoid uh, interruption like unwanted calls, visitors, meetings, emails. When you are reading a book, don't keep your laptop on or your mobile phone, mobile data on. Put your mobile phone in silent mode and spend quality time with your book or with the work that you do. Or put it in vibration mode. And when you can postpone the call for a future time, I think you can finish the task. And don't task yourself much. You need not sit for very long hours and do your work. Between work, take breaks. Go for a short walk. Go to a nearby shop. Take a nice hot cup of coffee or tea. Come back, sit. If you feel that work is boring, you have another task by your side in your logbook. Take that work and do. And then you can come back to this work. This is how you can manage your time. And many people think that multitasking is a very good task. And I personally tell you that multitasking sometimes may take away time from you. So please avoid multitasking. Please schedule time to relax physically and mentally every day. Please go for your morning walk and do exercise. And keeping your body fit every day can also help you to manage your time effectively. These are a short recap to manage your time. This is a chart which I prepared. First thing is you need to set clear goals, and you can break your goal into short-term goals. Among them, find which is of great importance. So prioritize that wisely. What is the thing that you need to do first? Do that first. You set a time limit and stick to the time. And when you do work, take little breaks. And then you try to organize your work using a whiteboard. And once you complete a task, you make a mark about it. And then if you feel that task which you need not give importance to, you can remove them from the list and manage your time well. There is a very beautiful model before us, the Eisenhower matrix, which can help us to schedule our time. The first one is to things that you need to do first. What are the most important tasks of the day that you need to accomplish? Do that first. The second one is the things which you can do next. And they are not so urgent, but they need to be completed before the day. Take them up next. If there are things which can be done with the help of your friends or with the help of your workmates, you can get the help of those people. And there are things which are not at all important, which you need not concentrate much. Is to what? How can we lead a happy life? Is to get rid of the past. Your past is there in your mind, but don't cry over the past because it is gone. Don't stress about the future. It is yet to come. Be happy with this 24 hours, the next few hours with you. Keep this in your mind. Those people who keep the present before them are the ones who are very successful. Tomorrow will be present for you, okay? And today will be past tomorrow. So think of the present and try to accomplish your task within the present. And now let's take a beautiful advice from Saint Francis of Assisi. This great saint has given us a beautiful lesson. Start, and then you will end up doing what is impossible, and suddenly you will be doing things which you thought are impossible. So first things first, whatever is needed and not what you want to do what is needed immediate. Okay? That will help us the lesson that we need to learn. And do not be afraid of becoming slow. Sometimes we say, sir, I'm very slow, but we need to be very steady. Slow and steady will stay. And rash running will not reach the head at the end. Now let's take the lesson from Bruce Lee. Again, this spring effect will always keep life going. And this will give us the courage to move forward. Life is not just to face challenges and all our work so that we may avoid stressful situations and most important is stressful people also. Thank you. In case if you have any questions, you're most welcome to raise it. And if you have any ideas to contribute, you can also contribute in the chat box. And these questions and clarifications will be answered in the next video. Yes, Blesswin,
Sir,
Blesswin.
sir, yeah.
Yes, that's the end of.
Uh, Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Blesswin. You are doing a great job of
Thank you,
connecting
sir. Thank
people.
you.
So keep going, and I wish and pray that you conduct many more such productive webinars.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, participants, for being with us. Have a great day. You can raise your queries, and these queries will be answered.
Yeah.
Yes, Blesswin,
Yes,
you
sir.
may wind up with your concluding remarks.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So thanks, sir, for your energetic, enthusiastic, and a very wonderful sharing about bouncing back from stress. There are some technical difficulties during this time. That time also, I felt I am in stress. But at the end of this session, even myself have come out of the stress. So this is a very essential thing that we all have to undergo. That is the stress and time management. So you have done a great job, sir, making us very clear about stress as well as managing the events on that particular time, especially the 4 A's, that is avoid, alter, adapt, and accept. That will surely make us to manage the stress effectively, sir. So thank you so much, sir. Thanks for spending your time with us. And also, I would like to thank the advisor, Dr. V.L. Jayapal, who encouraged me to conduct this second webinar in my channel, YouTube channel. And I thank all the participants who enrolled and participated in this webinar. And the feedback form link is given in the chat box and in the description. So kindly fill it very carefully. And if you have any queries, kindly send them to the mail ID, which is in the chat box, as well as in the in few seconds after this concluding note. So thank you all for joining us. Kindly keep on sharing your views also, and for your questions, we will upload a next video. And those who are also have sent the questions to Joseph Forms, your answers will be on the next video. So thank you so much. Thanks for joining. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Blesswin, and thank
Thank
you,
you, sir. Let's
participants.
end up the section,
Have a
sir.
great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Sir. Thank you.
Thank you.